What's going on, guys? My name is Assam from dopelifecoaching.com, and I just had a question for you. Have you ever taken dating and relationship advice from a woman and found that it actually worked for you? More times than not, it didn't. In this video, I'm going to explain in detail exactly why men should not take dating and relationship advice from women. Stay tuned. Now, before watching the rest of the video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button and you also subscribe below. Make sure you also turn on the bell notifications to get immediate notifications right away when I release my new videos. So there are several reasons why you should not take dating and relationship advice from women. So let's dive into the three main reasons and just make sure you watch until the end to gain the maximum benefit from this video. So reason number one, women are more indirect and emotional as opposed to men who are direct and logical. Now, because women are more emotionally driven and are indirect, their responses to your questions and your requests, which are more results oriented, such as, how do I get a girl to fall in love with me? How do I get a girlfriend? How do I ask a girl out? How do I get sexual with a girl? All those questions are aimed at getting a result. But because women are more emotionally driven, their responses to those questions aren't going to be results oriented. She'll typically tell you something like, just be yourself, be nice, just show her how much you care, tell her, confess your feelings for her. And then more times than not, you think, oh, she's a girl. She thinks like every other woman does. More times than not, when you follow that advice, it just doesn't work for you. And then you end up stuck in friend zone and then frustrated because you're stuck in friend zone. You think to yourself, what the hell? I'm asking a woman for relationship advice about another woman. Put two and two together. She's a woman, so she's gonna give me the right advice, right? No, that's wrong. Because again, women are more indirect. Let me give you a real life example now. So when I was in the first year of college, I was really interested in this one girl. She was in one of my classes. And so what I try to do is I try to talk to her more, to try to force a conversation, to try to get her to notice me, all to no avail. Nothing would work. So what did I do back at the time? I went to my logical brain. I went to one of my good female friends and I asked her, what should I do? And she told me what every other girl would tell you, typically. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this. She was like, tell her how much you feel, try to spend time with her, try to coordinate your lunch breaks together, and during the lunch break, just try to ask her out. So that's exactly what I did. And then it just ended up feeling forced, and it didn't feel natural, and the woman just didn't want to go out with me. She wasn't interested in me. Even though there were times where she was showing me indicators of interest, but because I went with the advice of my female friend, who she obviously tried to help, but because she doesn't know any better, it didn't work. It just didn't end up working out. We eventually grew apart and I got friend zoned. She didn't tell me I was friend zoned, but it was pretty fucking obvious. So it didn't work. Now the moral of the story is, following your female friends for dating and relationship advice, it just doesn't work. They don't know what they want. They're more emotionally driven. Us men are more results and logic and focus driven, more results oriented. Women are not. It's not the same. You think it is, but more times than not, it's not the same. Reason number two, women do not know what they want in terms of dating and relationships. Sure, they might have a fantasy idea in terms of what they want, like for their wedding night, how their honeymoon is gonna be, but by far and large, they do not know what they want in a man when it comes to dating and relationships. Why? The reason for this is because they don't know what they emotionally respond to. Two very important words, what they emotionally respond to. Let me give you an example of this. How many times have you seen a woman who's going out with a man who's not exactly her type, quote unquote, or who doesn't necessarily meet her criteria on her list, quote unquote? Probably you've seen this, more likely than not, you've seen this in your life. And then you're thinking, how the hell did those two people end up together? He's not her type. And he's not showing her and giving her the necessary things that she says that she really needs in a man, that she won't date otherwise if the man doesn't fulfill those needs. The reason, again, is very simple. This particular man is causing that particular woman to emotionally respond to him, not logically. Women do not know what they emotionally respond to. It's very important, those two words, emotionally responsive or emotionally respond. That particular man, in some way, shape, or form, is causing that woman to emotionally respond to him in such a strong way to the point where she can't get enough of him. She's in love with him. And she's not even aware of all this. She doesn't know all this is happening. She obviously knows she's in love, but she doesn't know why she's in love. And then when she talks to her girlfriends, she might, create a reason or two, but more than likely the answer is, I just don't know why. I can't get enough of him. He's making me feel certain things. I feel them so deeply. I don't know why I'm in love with him. I don't know why I'm infatuated by him. I just can't get enough of him. I feel, keyword feel, so strongly about him. The guy she's with is just making her feel certain emotions so strongly to the point where she just can't help but fall in love with him. And no other guy is doing this, or at least she hasn't experienced those specific and strong feelings with another guy in that intensity. So it only makes sense that she's gonna fall in love with him, and she's so strongly connected to him. Make sense? Reason number 3, women do not want to hurt your feelings. Oftentimes, a woman will hear you talk about a specific woman and she will know that that other woman is just not interested in you. But instead of getting to the point and just telling you, I'm sorry man, she's just not interested in you. You should try to look elsewhere, try to give your attention to another girl. Instead of just saying that, she'd probably tell you something like, oh no, she probably just doesn't know how you feel. You have to let her know how you feel. She's not sure if you're serious about her. And then what that ends up doing to us guys is we get fucking frustrated with it and we end up in friend zone. And then we're curious, why the fuck did that happen? I'm asking a girl for advice on women. Shouldn't she tell me the right things to do because she's a woman herself? I wish that logic worked, but it does not at all for the most part. There's a small percentage of women who actually will help you in these aspects, but more times than not, by far and large, they won't. I remember this one time back in high school, I really liked this one girl, but because I was so naive and I didn't know any better, I thought to myself, I had to wait till the right moment to do things. I had to wait for the right moment to ask her out and to talk to her. And the problem with that is I ended up delaying everything and delaying talking to her in a romantic type of way, or at least in a non-friendly type of way. I thought to myself, we should be friends first and then just take it from there. We shouldn't just, jump into anything too quickly and get to know each other. But to be honest with you, that approach is flawed. So what ended up happening was, this one day I just went with it and I just messaged her, I really need to tell you something tomorrow and just be free during lunchtime. It was in high school. So come tomorrow, before talking to her, like my heart's about to pound out of my chest. So I talked to her, we're walking for a few, and then I was like, I finally got the guts to tell her. I was like, I've been feeling these feelings for some time. I've been talking to you and I've started feeling these feelings towards you. And to be honest, I started falling for you. And I just waited for her reaction. Looked at her face. She looked like she was confused. And it took her a couple of seconds to process it. And then she was just like, I'm just really sorry. I have one of my exes. I still have feelings for him. So now probably wouldn't be the best time. So awkwardly, I was like, oh, all right. And I just awkwardly changed the conversation. And we were just walking awkwardly. I was just trying to change the conversation so I don't look stupid. And then afterwards, we were done with that. So I went to go talk to one of my friends who was a girl to tell her about what happened. And obviously, I was not feeling too good because I had just gotten turned down by this girl who I really liked. So when I went to one of my female friends, I told her what happened. And then after telling her everything, she was like, maybe she really likes you, but she's too afraid to say it. Maybe she just doesn't know if you're serious. And it's just like, looking back, more than likely, this girl knew that the other girl was not interested for shit, but she just didn't want to hurt my feelings. It's kind of like she would be hurt. She would feel hurt if she were to hurt my feelings. It kind of sucks. And at that point, in my mind, I was like, this might be possible. A part of my brain in the back was like, maybe she's wrong. Maybe the other woman just doesn't give two shits about me. But then one really naive part was like, oh, maybe she's right. Maybe the other girl doesn't know you really like her. When I fucking told her, and it's pretty obvious, it's like, come on. But obviously now, in retrospect, looking back, and because I have experience, years of experience, it all makes sense to me right now. Back then, I was just in a complete state of shock. I was like, what the fuck? This woman shows, certain signs of interest. But instead, what I had done at that time was I didn't ask her out quick enough, and my dynamic between me and her was more friendly. It was too friendly for too long. I'd extended it too long because I thought I had to wait for the right moment, which just doesn't work with women. Remember, women are governed by their feelings. Their primary driving force is their feelings, as opposed to us men. We're more driven by our sense of logic. Sure, women have logic, but just not like us men. They're more driven by their emotions. Whether you like it or not, or whether you want to get politically correct or not, that's the truth. So in a nutshell, guys, men just shouldn't take dating and relationship advice from women because women are indirect and illogical for the most part when it comes to this. They don't know what they emotionally respond to, and that the primary force of their decisions is emotion. And finally, they don't want to hurt your feelings. All those reasons should be more than enough. Those three main reasons should be more than enough to make you understand now that men should not take dating and relationship advice from other women because it is flawed by far and large. More times than not, much more times than not, it's flawed. So if you found this message of value, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, go to www.dopelifecoaching.com. We still have free consultations for first timers. Make sure you check that offer out. Know this in the back of your mind. Go to the right people, go to my videos, listen to me, and you will get the right advice at the right time, and you will conquer and improve your dating life in no time. Take care.